What is up, my creative fellas? Welcome to this episode of You Will Float 2, where I will make your images floaty in my way. Let's see what we got for today. The first image has been submitted by Dilip Aryan, if I'm not wrong, and such a cool photo. It makes a great floaty image. Let's do it. So, as always, I started by masking the subject out using the pen tool. It was a little blurry. There was motion blur in some parts of his body. It was hard to select using the pen tool, but I did it anyways because that's how I do it. And this guy was already jumping up, which means he was already floating, and it makes my job a whole lot easier. And as I was cutting him out, I was thinking of putting him in the air and floating some objects around him. That's what I usually do, so I found the idea. And using the pen tool has always been such a boring process, so I'm gonna leave you alone here. I'll be right back. And this is the background that I found after a lot of searching in some free websites. I think I found it on unsplash.com, if I'm not mistaken. It was such a cool background and I loved the tones, and I thought it's gonna go pretty well with the image that I have. So yeah, and you can watch me struggling to match up the lighting and the colors. You're like, the heck, is that a bicycle? Yeah, it's a bicycle. I just wanted it to be there, so yeah, I put it there. Anything can be floaty in my world. By the way, I'm not gonna lie though, I had a hard time just trying to select that out of the background. Man, it had so many wires and all that stuff. It was just crazy. I used the multiply blend mode to blend this bicycle with the scene and to remove the white parts, but I couldn't apply the blend modes all over it, so I just combined it with a little bit of selection, and that's what made it so hard. I had a hell of a time just selecting this bicycle out, but anyways, I did it. I had enough time, so who cares. And yes, that is an airplane. Okay, a bicycle there, an airplane here. I said, like, I do whatever I want. You can just float anything, like literally anything. That's just the way things go here. Trust me, as I say, you can float everything. You'll see me float a book, a boot, a pipe, and a bunch of more stuff. And this all just comes from your creativity. You just gotta let it go wild and just do whatever you think is good. If it looks nice, you have to do it. I get a lot of questions on a daily basis like, hey Justin, how do you come up with all these ideas? The answer is, I don't even know what I will be creating in an hour. I just start off my project and then I just let my mind be free. I scroll through stock photos, I Google images, and I add anything that I think is cool. Little by little, I build up my composite, and at the end, I'm always satisfied with what I have done because I know that's what I liked. That's what I chose, so that looks good to me and it will good look to people as well. So don't just get stuck on the fact that you think what you have created will not be accepted by others. It doesn't matter what others think of your work. If you are satisfied with your result, that's enough for you. That's all you need to worry about. So now I'm gonna leave you alone with the rest of this process. Sit back, relax, and enjoy as I float this dude. This next image has been submitted by Peter Chris. He sent me a bunch of photos and I selected this one for this episode. I think it looks really dope. I could make something really cool out of it. Same story here, guys. It is just selecting with the pen tool, another boring process here. So you can skip this part. You can totally skip this part. It is totally fine to me. You know, I know how boring it looks. this image, I was thinking of something more cinematic. So I went for a cityscape background. At first I was gonna place a sea or an ocean or something, but then I changed my mind and I placed a cityscape of some buildings, and I didn't know what I was gonna do to this image. I was just experimenting with it, and then I finally decided to add something really nice, which you will see in a few seconds. And just a matter of color matching, light matching, and adding a little bit of depth of field, because why not? We can do it, so we do it. I'm a strong believer of the depth of field. A shallow depth of field is one of the most amazing effects that you can do inside of Photoshop, so don't miss out on that one. If you are paying enough attention to what's going on here right now, you will probably know that I use curves plus gradient maps for color matching. These two are just my friends when it comes to color matching. They are the best. So basically, first I apply a gradient map to build up the base for my color matching, and then I apply another curves on top of it, and it will totally match up the color of the foreground and the background no matter what. And also, when you are applying the depth of field, make sure to remove it from the objects that are closer to the camera. Pay close attention to the depth of the image. You don't want blur all over the background. And I know it's a little tricky to get everything to look right, but trust me, with practice and time, everything will be possible. So if you are not able to composite images very well yet, do not be disappointed at yourself. Keep on training, and one day you'll do great. And here's where I brought in these little cute things. I was thinking of something more fantasy type, so yeah, immediately I thought of Among Us characters. They are small, they are cute, and they can be floaty, so why not? And I googled the characters and I brought them in one by one. If you are not using Google Images as a source to find stock photos, you are gravely mistaken. I recommend you use Google Images from time to time. Most of the times, you can find anything you want inside Google Images, because in stock websites you just are limited, but in Google Images you are not. You can find photos from any website, from anywhere, but of course make sure that they are not copyrighted. It is just a huge source of stock photos, and it's free. I remember back in the days where nobody even knew what this game was, but now these days everyone's just talking about it. Just took off, and it is great to make images out of it. These concepts look really nice and they look cartoonish, and that's what I like about them. It's sort of my style. And after you have found the idea, the concept that you were going for, the rest is just a bunch of tools and techniques that you have to apply to make your concept come to life. And this is what I'm doing right now. I'm just blending these in and painting highlights and shadows and all that stuff. If you have watched enough of my videos, you probably know that I like to paint a light source behind my model. I like to paint fog and smokes so much. So that's what I do in all of my images, no matter whether the subject is on the ground or is in the air. I always paint some freaking cool light sources and fogs behind my model. It just makes it separate from the background and makes it pop and stand out so much more. I suggest you do so. It's gonna change your game. When it comes to making art, it doesn't matter what you do. As long as it looks good, it is okay. So if you are feeling like adding some special images and elements to your photo makes it look more beautiful, then why not? Don't just put yourself under the pressure that, hey, if I do this, I know people are not gonna like it. They will. Why not? Because it just is your style. You can do anything you want. This is your creation and you are the creator. So no matter what you do, people will like it. I have to mention that if you want to know precisely what I'm doing here and you want to know all these tips and techniques that I use to create photo manipulations and cool composites in Photoshop, you can check my channel. There are a bunch of free videos over there that are gonna explain in depth about these techniques that I'm using these days, and I'm uploading a new video every week, so make sure to subscribe and hit the like button. It is gonna help a lot. This is the part where my creativity really took off, man. I'm not for real though. Don't you agree? I brought in this Among Us poster and I decided to add it as a pattern to this guy's t-shirt, and I'm super glad with the result and how it looks. Don't you agree with me? I think it was just a great idea. Thanks for watching everyone, and shout out to Peter and Dilip, if I'm pronouncing it right, for submitting their photos. I'll make sure to send these images back to you as soon as possible. If you want me to edit your photos like this, submit your photos to my Gmail. You can find it in the description of the video. Probably I will choose your own photo for the next episode. And till then, peace out.